all aspects of each mission, each task, each order to ensure that we're structuring the command, the force, the unit to achieve the objective.
I appreciate that, General, but that's the question I'm trying to ask is it sedition for someone in the military to question whether an order is legal? And I thought I just heard you say that you had actually questioned orders and whether they were legal, and you sought advice. So I will ask it one more time. Is it sedition to question whether an order is legal?
Senator, I would not use the term sedition. I use the term basically our good order and discipline, how we approach any situation where we have to accomplish a mission and provide the best capability for the task at hand.
I'm sorry, I still can't understand your answer here. I'm just asking a very straightforward question. You tell me you have questioned orders in the past about their legality. Is that right?
Senator, I have questioned.
Before we begin, hit that like button and subscribe to Capitol Truthline, because this hearing exposed something far bigger than one Senate exchange. Elizabeth Warren thought she was setting a trap for Trump's military nominee. Instead, she walked straight into a masterclass on military leadership, chain of command, and constitutional responsibility. And by the end of the hearing, even Warren seemed frustrated that her strategy completely failed.
Military action to attack another country and seize Maduro was unconstitutional and threatens to drag Americans into a war they never voted for. What does the president mean when he says the United States will, quote, run Venezuela for years? When he says, quote, Venezuela now has the United States of America, the most powerful military in the world by far, to protect them, and protect them we will. It sounds like another forever war. Lieutenant General Donovan, you are nominated to lead Southern Command, which would make you the commander responsible for any future military actions in Venezuela. You won't make policy decisions, but service members will count on you to ensure that they are not asked to engage in military operations that are not legal. Now, according to press reports, your predecessor had serious concerns about illegal orders. That was not the case with these strikes. General Donovan, is it sedition for someone in the military to question whether an order is legal?
Senator, in my 37 years of experience, received many orders over time, and when I ever have faced a situation where I need to seek clarity, I ask our headquarters to clarify the task. Then I come back and work on that with legal advisors, the core staff, the subordinate commanders, senior enlisted leaders, and then present my thoughts to higher headquarters for their consideration.
So I think what you're telling me is you have questioned whether an order is legal. Is that right?
Senator, I did not. What I believe I'm focused on here is that the legality of the order. We face orders. We carry out missions. And so in that planning process, we look at all aspects of each mission, each task, each order to ensure that we're structuring the command, the force, the unit to achieve the objective.
I appreciate that, General, but that's the question I'm trying to ask is it sedition for someone in the military to question whether an order is legal? And I thought I just heard you say that you had actually questioned orders and whether they were legal, and you sought advice. So I will ask it one more time. Is it sedition to question whether an order is legal?
Senator, I would not use the term sedition. I use the term basically our good order and discipline, how we approach any situation where we have to accomplish a mission and provide the best capability for the task at hand.
I'm sorry, I still can't understand your answer here. I'm just asking a very straightforward question. You tell me you have questioned orders in the past about their legality. Is that right?
Senator, I have questioned orders when either one, I didn't understand, I wasn't equipped to carry them out, and I needed clarity before I can actually execute those orders. That's
but you've never questioned whether an order was legal. You've never wondered whether or not an order is legal and sought additional counsel on that?
Senator, in our planning processes, I always have a legal advisor at my side as part of the planning process. So I always have leveraged those legal advisors to give me the best answer. In the end, I'm responsible for the final decision to carry out or not carry out the order.
I will stop playing dodgeball here. You know, I thought that was going to be the easy question leading to harder questions. Back in 2016, Secretary Hegseth was very clear that service members have a duty not to follow illegal orders. Since then, he has repeatedly made clear his contempt for legal review, including by sidelining military legal advisors, the people who are supposed to help you stay on the right side of the law. And what I wanted to know is how you look at those issues. So let me try a different version of the question. General Donovan, if your legal advisor tells you that an order is illegal, will you refuse to carry out that order?
Senator, the legal advisor is one of many staff members that would provide their advice as we look at the scenario, the situation at hand. I will take that very seriously if my legal advisor says that is an illegal order, and I will seek clarification from higher headquarters.
Okay. And if somebody higher says no, what are you going to do at that point?
Senator, then I make a decision using 37 years experience to carry out that order or not.
Okay, but your intention is not to carry.
This exchange perfectly captured the growing disconnect between political theater and real-world leadership. Elizabeth Warren entered this hearing clearly trying to force Trump's military nominee into a political soundbite. The goal seemed obvious: get the general to either openly contradict the administration or stumble into a controversial answer about illegal orders. But Lieutenant General Donovan never took the bait. Instead, he answered exactly the way a seasoned military commander would answer: calmly, carefully, and professionally. That's what made this exchange so devastating politically. Because while Warren kept trying to force a dramatic headline, Donovan kept bringing the conversation back to process, chain of command, legal review, and operational responsibility. In other words, reality. And honestly, the contrast could not have been clearer. Warren repeatedly framed the issue as if military officers are supposed to instantly make emotional or political judgments about every order they receive. But Donovan explained something extremely important that many civilians do not fully understand. Military operations involve layers of planning, legal review, command structure, clarification procedures, and operational analysis before actions are carried out. That is how serious institutions operate. Not through political panic, not through media narratives, and not through senators fishing for viral clips. One of the strongest moments came when Warren kept pressing him on whether questioning an order's legality amounts to sedition, and Donovan refused to play along with the framing. Instead, he explained that commanders routinely seek clarification, consult legal advisors, evaluate operational feasibility, and ensure lawful execution before carrying out missions. That is not sedition. That is professionalism. That is exactly what Americans should want from military leadership. And the more Warren pushed
Many Americans increasingly believe Washington is becoming less focused on governing and more focused on setting up future political leverage. Every hearing becomes a potential legal trap. Every nominee becomes a political battlefield. Every statement becomes future ammunition. That's the atmosphere dominating modern politics right now. And Donovan clearly understood exactly what was happening, which is why he stayed disciplined the entire time. He never gave Warren the dramatic answer she wanted. He never lost composure, and he never abandoned the professional military framework he spent decades operating inside. That discipline mattered, because in moments like this, Americans are watching for something bigger than partisan talking points. They're watching for competence. They're watching for stability. And they're watching for leaders who sound capable of handling serious responsibility under pressure. That's why Warren's strategy ultimately backfired. The more aggressively she pushed, the more Donovan appeared measured and experienced. And the more political the questioning became, the more Americans were reminded of how exhausted they are with constant partisan performance. One thing is certain: this hearing was supposed to damage Trump's nominee. Instead, it may have strengthened public confidence in him. Because while the political temperature kept rising, Donovan stayed calm, methodical, and focused on the actual responsibilities of military command. And in today's political climate, that contrast stands out immediately. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Capitol Truthline, and let me know in the comments. Should military leaders prioritize strict chain of command procedures, Or should they take a more openly political role when disagreements arise? I want to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay informed, stay loud, and stay free.